All right, okay, I think we're good now. Oh man, I shouldn't have waited so long. All right, cool. So everybody, welcome to my 50,000 subscribers Q&A and giveaway. For you guys who are not familiar or if you're new to this channel, I do a few things here. I do Versus Series, I do Geek Rants, I do Let's Plays of video games. Below me here, I have basically a compilation of all the things I've done here. So I'm going to take some questions from the chat. I have some questions that people have sent to me via Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm going to answer them for however long it takes me to answer all these questions. But in the middle of it, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Or I'm going to be doing several giveaways. Speaking of which, I just hit 700 followers on Twitter, so I'm going to be doing, that's the first giveaway that I'm going to be doing here. Someone won a Amazon gift card on Twitter, so let's look at that first. Once I can find it. I need my list. Where's my list at? Okay, cool. So the Twitter winner of the Amazon gift card is Meh of Steel. So we got Meh of Steel. That's our first winner of the day for Twitter. So what I'm going to do is answer some questions here, and then we will continue. Make sure you email me at ytbandele@gmail.com to receive your prize. But yeah, let's continue with the first question. So let's see. There's a huge lag here, so just keep putting your questions out there, and I'll just take it as they come. If I had to pee during a live stream, I'll just get up and pee, but... Okay, someone asked me, what is the best lightsaber form? Okay, so for me personally, I would think in terms of lightsabers being a real life, tool you can use, I would say Makashi would be the best lightsaber form. Lightsabers are a touch weapon. Once you touch someone with it, you cut. There's no need to like pound on anybody or anything like that. Just little and then you're done. So for me, I would say Makashi, Form 2 Makashi, is the best form for a lightsaber weapon. Like, that's the best for the lightsaber. The chat delay seems to be about 20 to 25 seconds, so just keep putting your questions out there, and I'll look at it. Well, actually, it might be even longer, because it seems like I messed up when I did something else, but that's okay. How long is the chat going? The chat's going until, I feel like I've answered enough questions. The way you win the other giveaways is by entering. So basically for the past week, I've had people commenting on the YouTube video. So it's already closed. So sorry if you couldn't make it. The winners have already been chosen, but you can stay around and maybe get your question answered. Darovit says I should make a video about how strong Vader really is on screen. I think I pretty much do that with my Versus videos. I hope I indicate that he's a little bit stronger than he is depicted in the original trilogy of the movies. Okay, so this is a question I've gotten a lot. This one comes from Sean Riley. People ask, what made me start doing YouTube? Well, most of you are here because of my Versus series, but I've been doing this since 2006. I haven't been doing it to the point where I upload a video every few days. That's only been recently. I recently got serious with YouTube maybe 2 years ago. No, not 2 years ago. Did I say 2 years? Yeah, almost 2 years ago when I started doing the Versus series. Before that, I've had a YouTube account since 2006. I was one of the first people to have YouTube when it first came out. And I would put short films out there. Like when I first did YouTube, I was doing it because I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I put my short films out so people can see them and I can get critiques about it and things like that. And so I started doing more shorts, but then I realized that it takes a very long time to produce a short. I still love making short films and I still do it now, but I do it more as a hobby than I do as something I see as a profession, though I can do it professionally. I believe if someone gave me the tools or the sets or gave me the job to do it, I feel like I would be competent enough to do that. But as you guys can see, I've kind of swayed from that point. Now I do this whole YouTube thing, and I feel like it's a little bit more freeing. I can still do what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a video editor, which I can do with YouTube and with my Versus series, but now I can do as something that can be produced and actually bring some return to it. So I enjoyed that. But as you guys can see below, I have all these different videos showing things from 2006 and 2007. You're like, hey, wait, I've never seen that before. If you actually look at my YouTube, like my old YouTube, before the Versus series, it's a completely different kind of channel than it is now. But that's a very good question, because people ask how I got into YouTube, and really it was just a vessel for my short films, and now it's kind of evolved into something else, which is what it is now. So, all right, cool, good question, very good question. Thank you, Sean Riley. Let's see what else we have here. Someone asked, Dixon asked if I did a review for Lost Stars. Yes, I did. I actually did it a few days ago. So if you look on my YouTube channel, you should be able to see it. Okay, so scientist number 1 asked, if I was a Jedi, would I use a lightsaber or would I use the Force more? For me, I would definitely use my lightsaber more. I would feel more comfortable, with my ability to hack someone versus trying to push through their telekinetic barrier or something like that. So me personally, I would be a Guardian. I would favor my lightsaber abilities over everything else. So another question I have is, what is my favorite Star Wars related channel? For me personally, that's going to be Gray Jedi 91. He's the one who got all of us into Versus series in general, but I really like his insights. I think he has a really good balance of presenting a theme to the Versus series and also presenting correct lore and what's actually established within the lore, and also establishing kind of a speculation or what should be true of those characters based on their accolades and things like that. And he's just a great guy. So yeah, definitely Gray Jedi would be my favorite Star Wars related channel. Before that, it probably would have been Ryan and Weber, the lightsaber fighting guy. He would definitely have been my favorite before that point. What Star Wars comic or event got you into the expanded universe? Ooh, that's a very good question. So Umesh asked me what comic book or what comic event or events got me into the expanded universe. What was my first? Oh man, there's something very specific that got me into the expanded universe. It was the Jedi Apprentice series. So Jedi Apprentice is about Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi when they, before Episode 1 and all that stuff. And the first book I ever read was the Dark Apprentice version, which is with Xanatos and Qui-Gon Jinn. And I was like, what really intrigued me is the cover, because I was like, whoa, there's other Dark Jedi besides like Darth Maul and things like that. So I read that whole series, and that was my first step into the expanded universe. I didn't even realize it was expanded universe. I thought it was just the same thing. I thought, oh hey, this really happened. This is just what happened before the movies happened. I didn't really know about the expanded universe by that terminology until much later. And I think much later, I don't think I was aware of expanded universe until I started reading the Clone Wars comic book series. That's when I started realizing, oh, okay, this is actually called the expanded universe. It's kind of separate from, and then also when I was 7, there was a guy who said, oh yeah, there's like all these stories about Han and Leia and Luke and their kids. I was like, they had kids? What? Like there's more stories after that? So yeah, I didn't become aware of that until much later. But yes, Jedi Apprentice was my first hint of the expanded universe. All right, cool. I'll answer one more question. We're gonna do the first giveaway. Chris Ward asked if I would do Qui-Gon Jinn versus Ki-Adi-Mundi. I would say yes. Actually, I had thought about that. I don't know how soon I would do that, but I have considered that for sure. William Henning asked, will you expand your Versus series to other areas like Gravity Falls or MLP? Maybe a Twilight Sparkle versus Vader, or a Bill Cipher versus some other supremely powerful being? I'm not really familiar with those series that you just presented, but yes, I do have plans to expand my Versus series. At the end of this season, I am going to include Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I'm also right now researching into Naruto, so we can do some of that. But yeah, I've always been trying to expand. I want to expand to Final Fantasy as well, but I don't know how well that will happen or not. It gets kind of stale when you just do the same thing over and over. So like the Star Wars Versus series, I feel like my geekdom can expand from that. I'm not just that one thing. That's why I started doing the Harry Potter Versus series, and now I have Aang versus Korra, the Avatar Versus series, which is actually now more popular than my Star Wars Versus series, and I'm actually really proud of that because I was able to expand on what that was. And I think it should be about and really for me the Versus series is not about who wins. It's not about, oh, this person will definitely just wreck this person. It's not really always about that. It's about an examination of these characters we really like, and these examinations of their mentality and how they would stack up against each other, and really just looking at the series in all, and just being inspired by that series. Not so much about the winning aspect of it. I really don't really care for my verdicts most of the time, but that's just me. All right, cool. So we're going to take a small break by doing a giveaway. Keep asking questions in the comments, but I am going to do the first giveaway, which is, hold on, let me get to my list here. All right, cool. So the first thing I'm going to give away are those Star Wars cups, and the winner is Stefan S. All right, Stefan S. So go ahead and give me an email at ytbandalay at gmail.com, and we will get those cups to you. Congratulations. We have 4 more giveaways to do, so we'll continue with the stream here. I'm sorry if you guys are having problems with the stream. I don't know why it's so bad right now. It's really behind. It's lagging. Right now, it seems like it's okay, but it's really terrible right now. Okay, so Kid of the MC asks, what got you into Star Wars? My first interaction with Star Wars was in a Toys R Us. I was inside of a Toys R Us, and there's like, you know how there's bargain bins back when there were like VHSs? I don't know if you guys are too young to know what a VHS is, but basically it's what DVDs used to be, if you even watch DVDs anymore. But it's like, they're like these huge cassette players, basically like these huge boxes that you slot into a VCR, and then you watch it, and you have to rewind the movie all the way back before you can watch it again. Yeah, there's this whole thing called VCRs. But it was in the bargain bin, and I think it was Empire Strikes Back was the first one I watched, because it had like, it had the purple logo on it, and it had a Stormtrooper face on the front, and I didn't know what the heck it was. I just showed it to my dad. I was like, hey, can I watch this? And he's like, oh yeah, Star Wars is awesome. So I started watching that, and then that just took off. I used to draw stories about Star Wars. I had these comic books and all this other stuff. Then I started making lightsaber fight videos in high school, which was awesome. And then that helped me meet some other people within the lightsaber community, because that's how it really started with Star Wars, was with lightsaber fighting. That's how my fandom got built, was through lightsaber choreography and lightsaber effects and things like that. Versus series was kind of recent. I've always been into expanded universe and just examining characters, but that's definitely more of a recent thing than it has been like part of me. I never always was like, oh, I wonder if Darth Vader would beat Darth Maul or anything like that. I just was like, I never really thought about that until I started watching Grey Jedi 91's videos. Center of Star asked if I will do more Q&As like when I reach other milestones. Yes, I think I'll make this a tradition. Every time I hit a huge milestone, I'll do a Q&A. Oh, cool. Someone knows what a VHS is. I'm happy about that. Sweet. Looking for... Okay, you know what? I have other questions too. Let me answer a question from someone who could not make it to the stream. Let's see. Candice Ogaro asked, will you ever get to see what's under my hat? My hat, I'm sorry. Yes, I have hair here. I'm guessing that Candace, you're a newer viewer or newer subscriber, because there's plenty of videos without my hat on. That's more of a recent thing that I've had going on for like a year now, because my sister-in-law, I guess you would say, or my girlfriend's sister, she gave me that Star Wars hat, and yeah, I wear it all the time with my Star Wars related videos. Okay, cool. So Sleeks the Trandoshan, who has been here for a while. I think Sleek's been with me since I started doing Versus Series. Like, he's been there. Most of you guys have been here since Versus Series. There are a few of you who have been here since I started, like way back when. But Sleeks asks, which Star Wars video game is most deserving of a remake? Deserving of a remake. Yeah, you know what? I would like to see Knights of the Old Republic remade. Like, not just like remade to look a little bit better, but like to straight up be remade. Like, you know how the way Final Fantasy VII is being remade right now? Like, remodeled from the ground up? I think that's how it should go down. I think we should get a whole new, like, updated version, like an action RPG, not like the turn-based RPG of KOTOR. I think that would be awesome. Tiderium Transmissions ask, are you confident in Rian Johnson in Episode 8? Yes. If you guys don't know anything about me, I love Looper. Like, I loved it. Like, if you ask my friend Ricky, who I always talk about, he's the guy I did the lightsaber video with, we watched that together, and at the end of the movie, I like stood up and clapped. No one else in this audience clapped because I think they didn't like it as much, but I loved it, and I like literally like gave it a standing ovation with no one else. Like, everybody, like, he was looking at me like, what are you doing? But yes, I love Looper. I love his visual style. I love his aesthetic. And I can't wait to see what he does with Episode 8 as well. But what I'm really looking forward to is Gareth Edwards in Rogue One. Honestly, like I said this even in my Celebration video, my little blog when I went to Star Wars Celebration. But I think I anticipated a little bit more than even Episode 7. Because with Episode 7, we kind of know what to expect from it in a way. We're going to get a big adventure. We're going to get a big spectacle. But with Rogue One, that's a new Star Wars movie. And for me, I always said that the Rogue One is going to be like the first expanded universe movie that we're gonna get. So I'm really interested in seeing how that's gonna pan out. So Matthew says, dude, anyone born before 2002 knows what a VHS is. All right, good. I didn't know if VHS was like too old or you guys didn't know what it was. Okay, this is a good one. I get asked this question all the time. So Darth Martyr says, what advice would you give someone who wants to start making versus videos? My personal advice to anyone who wants to make it is just do it. That's what I did. I saw really, okay, so my motivation for making versus videos from the start was really just an aesthetic one. Because I saw, stuff like Jin Sarai and Evan, and I felt like, and not to like be mean to them or anything like that, just being, constructive criticism, I thought their video quality was not up to par to what I thought the Versus series could be. Granted, my first few scripts were terrible. Like, I think I wrote some really bad scripts. I had said some, incorrect information because I was rushing. I wasn't really doing research. I was just doing things based off my memory, especially with Darth Bane. And now going forward, okay, I'll give advice about versus videos in a minute. But the way I started is that, I saw their videos and I was like, oh man, like the audio levels weren't that great. I didn't think the edits were as good as they could have been. So I came into it from like a video production person, basically. And I said, hey, let me put some production quality into this. So then that's how I initially came into doing versus videos, just from completely aesthetic and not from an ability to compare two characters or anything like that. So going forward though, like the way I do versus series now, I take much more care to what I'm doing than I did before when I first started. Like my first 3 videos are pretty bad. Like first 3, first 4, something like that. But that's what you have to do. You have to just be bad, just do it. And then I took the criticisms that you guys gave me in the YouTube comments and I just started building off of that and you get better and you get better. But now, yes, when you're doing a versus videos, for anybody who wants to do one or is thinking about doing it, first step is to do your research. Like for instance, right now I'm doing Ki-Adi-Mundi versus Diva Bellava, and I'm getting really, really deep into research. So with research, the way that works is that do not use Wikipedia as a source. Wikipedia is a good way to lead yourself to sources, but Wikipedia itself is not a source. So what I would say is you can do that. You can read the Wikipedia page for that character, but you'll see little like footnotes at the end of those paragraphs that take you to a source, whether it's like a source book or the movie itself or a comic book. Go to those sources, acquire that in some way. Like if you can, I know it's hard, but read those sources, whether it's a comic book or a novel or anything like that, and look through that, because sometimes with Wikipedia there might be an opinion on there that isn't exactly correct, and some people just take that at face value. They're like, oh well, Wikipedia said it. It was like, well, that's some guy who wrote that, like go back to that source and look at what that says and then formulate your own opinion. So that's what I'm doing now. Like I do that. I go through all the research I can for that character up to what I can, because sometimes there's certain source books that I just can't acquire. Then I make my own analysis based off of that. And then once I do that, I do my recording, or of course I write my script, and then I do my recording in my closet right back there actually. And I recently acquired, well, not recently, but I grabbed this guy. I got a Blue Yeti mic. And then I record in my closet, and I have like a little soundproofing area, and that's why you hear the video quality or my audio quality get better over time, because at one point I was using my where is it? I would use my like blanket like this and just like cover myself while I was recording, and that worked for a little bit, but then I got sweaty and it sucked. But that's a good way to start. I mean, the first way I recorded, where is it? I had like those Apple headphones, and I just used that and I recorded on the mic, and then I was underneath the blanket, but it was still really bad. But now, I got better at it. I went to my closet and I got better set up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you do that, then you edit. With editing, I usually try to always keep the images moving. I always try to keep a lot of variety and no black spaces. That's a huge thing for me recently, is that I don't leave any black space in my videos. And I think that even though it's a very small thing, it goes a long way. Same with if I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve Jobs, but he's a very detail-oriented person, and I guess in that way I'm inspired by him, because they're small, like even like the kind of text that you use in your video, or how you're presenting it. You have to make sure that the quality is always there, no matter what. That's the biggest thing for me, is the quality, the production value quality. But now I like that. Now I can combine quality with a thorough analysis, and that's why I think my Versus series has been so successful as of late, because my videos have been getting better on both fronts, both the script writing and the production quality. Sorry, I went on a rant on that one. Let me see if anyone else has a question. I am this is crazy. I talk too much. All right, actually, you know what? Let me do one more question from someone. Actually, no, I haven't taken one from the chat. Let me take one from the chat. Oh, here we go. Do you think that Ezra is Kylo Ren? Think of it though. He meets Darth. Okay, no, I don't think he's Kylo Ren. Adam Driver is Kylo Ren. That's not Ezra. Ezra is separate. Okay, cool. So that's a good question. William Henning says, I know you are a Comic Vine member. Who is the Star Wars debater on Comic Vine you respect the most? For me, it used to be Silver, the guy who was like the end-all be-all of Comic Vine. Now I would say it's either Shooting Nova or I Like Swords. Especially I Like Swords, because at first we used to get into it a lot of the time. Like there was times where I took a little bit too much influence from Jin Sarai and the way he analyzes things, to the point where I kind of took him on his word. And that's the thing I want to take away from Versus series as well, is that you really shouldn't take any of our opinions at their face value word. Like, I don't like it when people say, oh, well, Ready 4 said that, or Grey Jedi said that. It's like, no. Like, what source did did they refer to? What do you agree with how they interpret that source? So I used to do that with Jin Sarai, where I used to take his kind of what he says in his videos, but at face value. And I Like Swords kind of call me on that, and I'm completely fine with that, and I'm glad he did. And we used to get into it, and now like I think we've kind of found a common ground. So I like him a lot because we found a common ground before we were kind of like at each other's throats. Shooting Nova, I think, is pretty awesome on that board, because he, in my opinion, is the most level-headed person on there. Like, there's a lot of people on that forum who are just like cancer, but he's an awesome guy. All right, cool. We're gonna do our next giveaway because I'm starting to ramble. And also Comic Vine, I don't know if you guys, that's a board where a lot of you guys should go if you guys want to do debates about characters fighting each other. It's a really good place to go. More for information, less for debate skills, because some of their debate skills or just the way that they converse with each other, not very healthy. All right, cool. Our next giveaway, it's going to be the Force Awakens t-shirt, and that one is going to Michael Kidd. Michael Kidd, congratulations for your Force Awakens t-shirt. Make sure to email me at ytbandalay@gmail.com, and we will get that t-shirt to you as soon as we can. Congratulations, Michael Kidd, and thank you for being subscribed. All right, cool. All right, let's continue these questions. Okay, Tom Growcut asked, do I still agree with my Maul versus Malgus verdict? Which I think should extend to some other things. So, yes, I still agree with it. Ultimately, I think Malgus does get the slight edge over Maul, but I do think that it's so minuscule that I think the verdict should have been a split decision, which I recently did with Kuvir versus Toph, which I feel I should have done more so. Okay, there's a few matchups that I don't really agree with anymore, or I just don't really like anymore. One of them would be, or just the decisions I made, I don't really agree with. One of them would be Maul versus Malgus. I think that should have been a split decision, and I almost made it a split decision, but I felt like that was kind of copping out, which it kind of is. It is kind of copping out, but there are certain matchups that you can do that, that makes sense. Dooku versus Mace, I feel like that is also a split decision. I feel like I undervalued Mace just a little bit, in the sense that not so much that I said that Dooku can completely negate his Vape-Pad, but there's a certain growth that Mace had with his Vape-Pad that I kind of didn't take into account. But still, that didn't really play. It wouldn't play into the fact that he would beat Dooku, in my opinion, based on sources and things like that we have. Dooku has defeated Mace Windu, which most people aren't really aware of. Dooku, on several occasions, has beaten Mace through sparring sessions, and there's nothing different. And yes, Mace did create Vape-Pad at that point in time, so it's not like Dooku would be surprised by that or anything like that. And there's a bunch of things, but yeah, that should have been a split decision. Maul versus Malgus should have been a split decision. I really hate my verdict for Anakin versus Galen. I think that's like my worst verdict ever. I agree with the decision, but I don't like the way I got to that decision and how I depicted it in my verdict. So yeah, I hate that one. Like I cringe every time I like listen to that one. What else would I say I don't agree with, or I would have changed my decisions on? Nothing is really coming out to me right now. Darth Bane versus Darth Vader. I definitely have a bias to Bane in that video, but I still kind of agree with it because that was more an examination of how disappointing Vader is as a character in terms of him never actually fulfilling his potential in either the light side or the dark side. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes the verse series isn't really about who wins. It's more about like an examination of characters. And then for that, my point was to showcase how disappointing Vader was in terms of his inability to really embrace either side of the Force to its full extent, even though he's, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. All right, cool. Hey, Kato, welcome to the stream. Hello. Let's see. Let's do another question from the stream. Keon Bunny asks, hey, Antoine, what's your favorite lightsaber color and why? It's always been purple, but more recently, I think I've liked green, actually. Darovit asks, will I be buying Fallout 4 next Tuesday? I think, my brother is buying it, so yes, I'll be playing it through him. I'm trying to get him to do YouTube too, but he's so lazy, he needs to do it. Okay, here's a question that people ask me all the time. Skylander Dude asks, where did you get your opening theme song? It is awesome. I reply to you guys all the time about where this comes from. It's a track that is pre-composed from Apple Soundtrack Pro, which is a program I used to have way back in the day. And before I changed computers, I actually took that entire library and just stuck it into my music library. And there's so many good things in there, and it's royalty free, which means that there's no copyright on it, which is what really works for me because I don't want any copyrighted music in my videos. And so yeah, and that one really fit well for the intro cinematic that I have going on. But yeah, it's a track from Apple Soundtrack Pro. I don't know if it's sold anywhere. I mean, I think it is sold on Amazon still and some other places. But yeah, that's where that place lives. No, I cannot send you the link. That would be illegal. I can't like just send you a property of a company. So you guys gotta stop asking that question. But yes, it's just a Apple Soundtrack Pro like track that I've had for years, and I thought it worked really well. Who was your model growing up? I would say my dad. Actually, my dad was my greatest role model growing up, for sure. I won't get into specifics about why or anything like that, but yeah, he's definitely my role model. Tiderium Transmissions ask, where are you from? I am from Los Angeles, California, of all places. Go figure, right? I was born and raised here. I've been here up until I was 7 years old, and then my dad was in the Army. And then we got stationed in Tacoma, Washington. So I was up north for a little bit, from age 7 to 8 or age 6 to 7 or something like that. And then we came back to Los Angeles, and I've just been here for the rest since we've been back here. So so from ages from 0 to 6, I was in Los Angeles. Then 6 to 7, Tacoma, Washington, because I was in the Army, or not. I was in the Army. My dad was in the Army. And then we came back in 98, I believe. And then I've been in Los Angeles for the rest of my time. I have family in Colorado. I have family in Kansas. I have family in Atlanta now. I have family all over the country. So sometimes I visit them. So I've been to Kansas. I've been to Colorado. I've been to Georgia. So yeah, so that's where I'm from. What was your favorite Versus series and what was your favorite matchup? My personal favorite Versus series is definitely Aang versus Korra. That's the one I spent the most time just like researching with and spending time in terms of the production quality. And yeah, I'm really proud of what I did with that one, especially. And then someone says, and what was your favorite matchup? My favorite matchup? I wonder if you mean like in general, or what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean on that one. I don't know. Yes, I have watched the show Lost. Lost is awesome until like the last 5 minutes, or the last season really. All right, cool. So let's do our next giveaway. All right, cool. So our next giveaway will be the Star Wars Episode 7 poster, the Star Wars Force Awakens poster. It's going to be a full, poster that I'm going to send to you. And the winner of the Star Wars Force Awakens Episode 7 poster is Brian Lee. Brian Lee, congratulations. You are the winner of the Force Awakens poster. Again, just send an email to me at ytbandolay@gmail.com and we'll get that to you as soon as we can. Thank you for being a subscriber. All right, let's get back to the questions. Yes, Tididium. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but transmissions. Yes, Tacoma is literally next door to Seattle. I've been to Seattle once because my dad had to buy a car up there, so we went up there and I saw the Space Needle and it was really cool. But yeah, I was in Tacoma. I was on Fort Lewis. It was where I was stationed at. I went to Chamber Creek Elementary School, which was kind of cool. My favorite time ever in life was actually when we lived in Tacoma because I had a very nice friend base, I guess I could say, because everybody there is Army brats, so we all know that, you know, our parents are away most of the time, so like all the kids like hung out with each other in our big apartment complex. We lived like in the middle of a forest, so I saw my first deer ever. Like that deer was like 5 feet away from me and I was freaking scared. Like we just stared at each other. Like I just went to the gate and I was like, and we just like stared at each other. It was like it was scary. Like that thing was big, but there was a fence between us, so that was okay. There was like this abandoned house that used to be there that we used to go there. It was like our clubhouse. That was fun. We used to play guns with each other. Like we would have sticks and like shoot each other with the guns and things like that. We used to ride our bikes, so there's this huge hill that went down our complex. It was just a lot of fun. A lot of people. We used to play basketball all the time. Best time of my life. Age 7. 97 was my best year ever. Easily. Tacoma, Washington. Dope. Umesh says, what is your favorite Versus video from any other contributor? What would be my favorite Versus series from someone else, like, period? I don't know, actually. Let me think. I mean, I have, the thing is that I have so many, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, just say one, really. I think it definitely has to go from Grey Jedi 91. You know what? Yes, I'm going to say my favorite is Grey Jedi 91. He had a 3-way battle between Darth Talon, Asajj Ventress, and Darth Zana. That to me is like the perfection of a Versus series. Like like I said before, he combines speculation with actual, you know, hard feats with a theme. Like he finds a through line for these characters that really set up a really nice examination of the characters, more so than just about who wins and that kind of thing. It's more about who are these characters, what combines them in the lore, like what similarities do they have, what things are completely different about them, you know. And I don't know, I think that's definitely my favorite, would be that 3-way battle that he did, because it just was so perfect on every level, I think, in terms of whatever a series should be. So William asked, do you think that other Star Wars YouTubers put too much emphasis on skill in their verdicts, especially when it's being... Wait, nope, everybody's talking. Hold on, I couldn't read that one. Especially when it might be subjective, perhaps explaining their bias against other characters like Savage. Yes, and that's actually very that you mentioned Savage, because there was a discussion had about Savage the other day. I do think there's some tendencies on every platform, like whether you're looking at YouTube Versus people, if you're looking at Comic Vine boards, if you're looking at the Killer Movies boards, there's always these mentalities that you see on each of those boards. And what I try to find is a medium between there, because I think there's merits to both speculating about someone who doesn't have that many feats and also using feats. Like, so I don't like I'm very critical of kind of dismissing feats just because you're like, don't like that feat, don't want to use it, kind of a thing. I think that there is merits to having an examination of those feats and also speculating about it, because there's things like, for instance, like Ready For. I love his examination of Plo Koon and Shaak Ti. He gives so much respect to them, even though they are what some people would say featless or something like that, you know, or they lack a lot of feats. But he still thinks about their accolades and where they are in terms of the Jedi Order. They are Jedi Council members, so they are going to be pretty formidable fighters, or just formidable in some way or the other. You don't just get on the Jedi Council for just being on it. And he examines that very well, I think, and so there's things like that where you can get respect for Shaak Ti and Plo Koon, but then there's other things where you can be critical of, like, you know, I'm going to say it just outright, you know, Connor's or Jyn Sarai's examination of Yoda is based solely, to me, mostly on movie choreography, when really he should be examining who Yoda is supposed to be within the, you know, Star Wars mythos in general, you know. But, you know, that's just me. Oh, okay, so the Ancient Demon asks, have you ever had one of your podcasts without a name friends change your mind about a verdict on one of your videos? I think you mean the Force Cast. That's what I'm assuming. Yes, I actually, when I did Azula versus Zahir, I initially had Azula winning, which I think most people can actually tell within the video, because I'm not so much I'm hyping her up, but most of my examinations of her were kind of leading to her winning, and I know some people calling out on that. They're like, you seem to really like be favoring Azula. I was surprised that you went with Zahir, and that's because I didn't really change my script. I just kind of changed the verdict, which was kind of rushed. I admit, I think that verdict was rushed. But yeah, I talked to Reddy and Grey Jedi, and they were like, saying all these things about Zahir and why he would win. So then I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then I did that. So there's a lot of times where I talk to my friends about my my videos, like most recently Toph and Kuvira. Like initially I thought, hey, Toph is gonna win that one easy, right? And then I started looking into it, and I was like, oh wait a minute, she's kind of like overrated. I don't think she is as good as people paint her to be. She just, and I realized I think it's because she's like kind of a fan favorite and that kind of thing, because she's like super sassy, but she's got her weaknesses and things like that. And so I started talking to people about it, and then I had the typical Toph person like I was, and they're like, oh yeah, Toph would definitely win. And I was like, okay, but why? And then we started talking and discussing about it, and then not that many great points were brought up for Toph. And then I started talking to someone who favored Kuvira, and I was like, yeah, that's great and everything about Kuvira, but what about this and that about Toph? Like, for instance, I think we were talking about Toph's ability with seismic sense. I was like, that's a huge thing. Like, I think seismic sense, especially against another metal bender, would be a huge benefit, to someone. To someone who's fighting another metal bender, of course. And he was like, yeah, that's true, but Kuvira just has like really good technique. And I was like, yeah, that's true, like she does have really good technique, way better than Toph, and she's way faster than Toph too. So I mean, there's a point of, yes, Toph can sense the stuff coming in, but can she evade that? And the fact that I was going back and forth between my friends and like all these points, I was like, okay, you know what, this is the first time I'm gonna do a split decision, but because I really cannot decide, and I need to put this video out. So I just said, okay, split the decision. And really, I would say it's inconclusive, because we don't really know. We haven't seen Toph fight an extremely fast metal bender to Kuvira's standard, and we don't really know exactly what she could do with that. And I'm really not sure how well Kuvira could do against Toph's seismic sense. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. So we'll talk about that later, I guess. Okay, another question I have from Tyler here is, who is your favorite film composer, director, and actor of all time? Now, I probably could have answered the actor part a while ago. I probably did have a favorite actor. I don't really have one. I don't really look at actors individually anymore. I kind of just look at roles. Director, I would say Alfonso Cuarón is definitely my favorite director. He's the director of the third Harry Potter film, which I used to hate. I was one of those Harry Potter fans who was like, no, they're not wearing robes. They look like muggles, and it's nothing like the book. But it's like actually the legit best film of the whole entire series. It actually took it and adapted the novel. It didn't like carbon copy the novel, and it still had the tone of the novel and made a very good film at the same time. So Alfonso Cuarón, he's also directed Gravity, Y Tu Bamba También, which is a Spanish film. He did that as well. Oh, by the way, for some of you guys who don't realize, I speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm intermediate with Spanish, so I don't know what I can say right now. Like, I don't know, write something in the comments you want me to say, and I'll say it in Spanish. And my favorite film composer will be Nicholas Hooper. Not John Williams, which maybe most people might think. But Nicholas Hooper, he did some of the Harry Potter films, and I actually feel he did a little bit better of a job than John Williams did. I actually enjoy him a lot. So that answers that question. Let me see if there anything is in the chat. What Star Wars YouTubers do you like outside of your Versus series group? I see what he means, like without the Force cast. Star Wars YouTubers that I am subscribed to that I like the most. You mean like Star Wars specific? Like, I don't know, like I can be general. I like Blind Wave a lot, but they're not really Star Wars specific. You know what? No. I can't say someone I like. Oh my goodness, I forget his name. I think it's Doodoo. No, not Doodoo. I was gonna say Doodoo Films, but hold on. That's so bad. I hope I didn't say that wrong. I probably did say that wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you who my favorite YouTuber is. Star Wars YouTuber. I have him on my favorite channels list on my YouTube channel. I think it is Doodoo Films, but I'm probably saying it wrong. Yeah, it is Doodoo Film. Okay, I know. It just sounds kind of weird because it's Doodoo. Maybe it's Dodo or Doi Doi. I don't know how to say it. But Yeah, he would be my favorite YouTube channel outside of the Forcecast people. So Airsoft 50 asks, is there any progress with Evan on XR Kun versus Count Dooku? That one seems to have been shifted to the side, so I don't know if we're going to do that together. We are going to do a new collaboration, though. We are going to do, on his channel, I believe we're doing Ultimate, Mandalore the Ultimate versus Dirge, so that's going to be on his channel. And then on my channel, we're going to do Quinlan Voss versus Leia Organa, or Leia Solo, I should say. All right, cool. So the winner of, where is it? I know I can find it. I know I can. Okay, so the winner of the Star Wars Jedi robe, the bathrobe, which looks like a Jedi robe, is Ryan Dixon. Dixon. Congratulations on your win. Just make sure you email me at ytbandalay@gmail.com for your winnings. And yeah, I'll send it off to your way as soon as we can. Thank you for being subscribed. Congratulations on the Star Wars bathrobe. Oh, the age-old question. But how old am I? I am 25 years old. Boom, said it. Another person asked, Juby X, who also used to be Optical Spark, asked, do you have any tips for creating lightsaber choreography for the LCC competition? Which I said in the beginning of the video is how I started out. I was about, lightsaber choreography and fighting with lightsabers and things like that. My main thing would be to become inspired by other fight scenes and other fight scenes outside of Star Wars, because I actually don't think that Star Wars fight scenes are all that great. I think you can find a lot more if you look at some Chinese kung fu martial arts films. Super awesome fights in there. I love the Troy fight from Troy, the one with Brad Pitt versus I forget the guy's name, but the one in Troy. That's a good fight. But yeah, get inspired by fights. Emulate that as much as you can, and don't just emulate the fight moves. Emulate their camera motions too, because the camera is as much a part of your choreography as you bashing swords with each other. So I would say that really emulate your favorite style, and then through that you will create your own style, and you'll do something that's pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. And then Anthony Sardinas asks, can you make a canon book ranking the top 5 of your favorite Star Wars books, the new canon books? Yes, I do plan on doing a top whatever I'm gonna do at the end of the year of the canon books that I liked the most this year. Max Kogan asks, do I watch anime? I do not watch anime, actually. Not a lot. I've dabbled in Full Metal Alchemist. I've watched a little bit of Samurai Champloo. I used to watch Digimon when I was younger. But the only anime I say I watched all the way through, which some people don't even consider an anime, is Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Have I considered working in the film industry? Yes, I answered that earlier in the chat about how I started with YouTube and all that stuff. You guys are all just asking about matchups. Ever watch Game of Thrones? Yes, I love Game of Thrones. I watch it all the time. Our last giveaway is the Kylo Ren Black Series action figure. And the winner of that one is Liam B. Congratulations, Liam B. You won yourself a Kylo Ren action figure. Looks pretty dope, if I do say so myself. Congratulations, and thank you for being subscribed. Remember, email me at ytbandalay@gmail.com so you can get your winnings. And thank you again for being subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Oh, my mom is calling me right now. Should we answer the phone? Yeah, let's answer the phone. Let's answer my mom's phone call. Hopefully it's not something personal, because I'm about to put her on speakerphone.
It's me.
Ugh. What? I don't understand that when people call you and then they don't answer. Like what happens? Maybe she's trying to call me back. That's why. Hold on, let's see.
It's me.
Why did she call me? Like what? Like I don't get why someone will call and then they don't answer again. And she just called me like a second ago. I feel like she's trying to call me. That's the issue. Because sometimes when people call each other, it goes straight to voicemail. Is she gonna answer?
Hello?
Hello, hey mom. Hey, I'm doing a live stream on YouTube, so you're on the air right now.
Oh, hi.
You can say hi to all my YouTube's peoples.
Yes, hello, people. Actually, I'm just coming to see if you're home because I need to drop some mail off to you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, that's all good.
Okay.
I'm here.
I'm a little ways from, so I'll call you when I'm there.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, cool. So that was my mom. Hey, let me show you guys a picture of my mom so you guys can see what she looks like. That is a picture of my mom and me right there. So you can see that. She's a cool lady. She's like one of the doper ladies in life. This is my grandma. Oop. Me and my grandma. I hope they're okay with me doing this. I don't know if they want to actually be seen on YouTube. My dad's on here somewhere. Oh, I have a brother too. Hold on. So here's my mom and my brother. My brother looks almost identical to me. So that's them. Hold on, let me see if I know darn well that my dad is on here. And it's funny because we actually hang out probably more often than me and my mom, because my mom lives kind of far away. I don't have any pictures of my dad? What the heck? I mean, I don't have pictures of my dad, but I don't have pictures with my dad. It's pretty bad. Well, I have a picture of my dad, so you guys can see my dad. That is my dad. That's what he looks like. All right, enough of that. No more family sharing. I just want to do that because I had my phone call with my mom. All right, cool. So that's all the giveaways. If you guys had any last minute questions, I'll answer them real quick. But that's gonna almost wrap up the end of this Q&A. How tall am I? I am 5'10". 5'10". Same height as my father. He's also 5'10". My mom is like 5'3". All right, one more question. Hey, Duty Film says, congrats on 5K. Why don't you play SWTOR? That's because I have a Mac and there's no SWTOR on Mac. So the second they put it on Mac, I'll play it. Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, so Robbie asked, where did my name Bandele come from? Which is actually pronounced like Bandele, if you actually pronounce it correctly. Wait, Aaron? How do you know my brother's name? Wait, Center of Star just says Aaron. How did you know my brother's name? Do you know us? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna freak out about that later. But my last name, I actually was born with a different name. I was born Antoine William Bailey. But then my dad, through research, he kind of found out that it was a slave name. Obviously, he doesn't want to have that last name. And he basically did a Malcolm X. Like, if you guys know, Malcolm X was not was very fond of his name, so he changed it. But instead of us being X, I'm not like Antoine X. I'm more of we got turned to Bandele, which is a Yoruban, Yoruban Nigerian last name, which means born away from home, which has an extra meaning to it because my dad was like, oh, we were born away from our home, so that's that. But it's kind of funny because my bloodline is a little bit different. My bloodline actually is 60% or 66% West African, 30-something% European, and then a mix of everything else, basically. But yeah, my last name is not my original last name, but it is a African last name because my dad wanted us to have an African last name and with some meaning behind it. So I like it. I like Bandele. Let's see. Yeah, wait, Center of Star. How the heck do you know my brother's name? I didn't say my brother's name was Aaron unless I said it on the air and I didn't realize it. Wait, do you know my brother, Center of Star? Like, hold on, I'm freaking out. You have to explain to me if you know my brother. Oh, that's freaking me out. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream right now, but freaking out that Center of Star knows my brother's name. I wonder if he knows him or something like that. But thank you guys for coming out to this live Q&A and giveaway. So congratulations. Let me reiterate all the winners. So anybody who came a little bit late, can you listen to it? So first we had our Twitter winner, Met of Steel. He got his gift card. We have Stephen S, who won the Star Wars cups. We have Michael Kidd, who did who got the Force Awakens t-shirt. Brian Lee, he won the poster. Ryan Dixon, he won the bathrobe, the Jedi bathrobe. And Liam B won the Kylo Ren action figure. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. Look at that. I look so young down there. Look at that. Crazy me. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, since 2006. I didn't really get serious with it until last year. And I've gotten pretty far, really focusing in on the YouTube channel to the point where I can now sustain myself full time on YouTube. And that's all because of you guys, really, and just being here. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Let's get to 100K. I think we can do it. I think next year we can get to 100K. And I can only do it with you guys. Just remember, like, the best way to support me, not really so much by even watching, watching the videos, of course, but sharing. If you like my videos, share that with your friends, like it and all that kind of stuff. That's the best way for my channel to grow is if people are sharing it amongst their friends and having healthy debates. That's the main thing. Make sure you're having healthy debates with your friends. Don't get too biased or too hung up on your opinions. You know, remember, this is a fictional universe. But that's it, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you again for 50K. Peace, love. May the force be with you. Mischief Managed. This is my favorite YouTube channel on the Citadel. And remember, be water, my friends.